Hey there, Bear Club! At the Mama Bear Initiative, we explore how to protect ourselves so we can protect our cubs, the people who depend on us. Join us and get the confidence you need to stay safe, make good choices, and protect yourself and those you care about. Let's go!
Need more streaming power? Upgrade. No, I don't need more streaming power. Go away.
I could use some more streaming power.
What do you want to stream?
I don't know, just get my brain flowing a little better. My thoughts, you know?
Oh, you don't want water? Like streaming water?
I mean,
like better plumbing? Maybe.
For myself or my house?
Oh, I gotta take my glasses off. Sorry.
Oh,
wow.
yes.
The blobs are back.
We're back.
The blobs are back.
The blobs are, oh my gosh, it's worse
Only
this
for you,
week.
though. Only for you, though, Steph. Thankfully, the people watching us, unless they choose to take off their glasses,
And see
they
blobs.
should see us as, you know, the non-blobs that we actually are.
Yes, it's just blobs for me. Blobs for you, Dunham. Blobs for you.
There's a t-shirt we could make.
Yeah,
Blobs for you, Dunham. Blobs for you.
Blobs. Okay, I'm glad you said blobs. I thought you said bobs. I'm like, I don't want a bob.
You have a Fran.
I have a Fran. I have a Steven. I have a Rochelle. I have an Evelyn. I don't need a bob.
You're full up.
You're full up.
I'm filled to the brim with blobs. Don't need more. Or bobs. Wait, I don't have any bobs. Never mind. Oh, gosh.
It's like a
how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
All right.
Say it, Rochelle.
Nope. Not gonna say it.
Not gonna say what?
Now you have to say it.
What?
So I was saying while we were waiting for you to come on, that one of the ways I know it's Rochelle that I'm talking to is if I ask her how she's doing, at some point, usually almost right away, she's going to say, "I'm tired," or some form of tired. I'm tired.
Yeah, she's always tired. Her and Steven, always tired.
It's true.
Well, we're over 50, so whatever. We're always tired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
anyway,
good, though.
So Rochelle's tired. How are you, Evelyn?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been a busy Monday.
I'm tired.
Come to think of it, I'm kind of tired myself.
Okay.
No, I think you're copying me.
Okay.
Isn't that how it goes? I do something, you do something. I brush my teeth, you brush your teeth. I get tired, you get tired. Isn't that how it works?
What do you guys like, 10?
Maybe.
10 and 7?
Maybe.
She's copying me, Mom! She's copying me!
There's a story there.
There is a story there.
Well,
there was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Were we in the car when I was complaining about that?
No, we were at home, and you were complaining that I got up when you got up, brushed my teeth when you brushed your teeth, ate breakfast when you ate breakfast.
Were you supposed to have a completely alternate schedule, Rochelle?
Apparently.
I mean, you couldn't even have breakfast together? She's eating wave.
I'm breathing. She's breathing.
Oh, I am too.
How dare you breathe after me? How dare you copy me and breathe and stay alive?
Oh, Lord.
This is what it feels. Actually, what it feels like to be a parent is you hear stuff like that, and you're like,
yeah.
What do I say to this?
Yeah.
Y'all are so childish.
Yeah, I prefer childlike, but whatever. Whatever. So this is our last episode for a couple of weeks because Evelyn and I will be in Japan. Yep. So we're not going to be here to record, and poor Rochelle would be too tired to do it all by herself. And probably I'll be too tired, and Evelyn will be too tired when we get back from Japan.
For sure.
For at least a week. Maybe more.
Yeah.
Evelyn, how are you going to function at work?
Are you going straight back to work?
I'm taking Monday off.
Okay, good.
I'm going to see about working from home on Tuesday. And I guess I'll just be a zombie the rest of the week because I need the hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we are back to our. Oh, by the way, hello and welcome to the podcast. I am Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
And I'm Rochelle Knapp,
Yes,
the tired
welcome.
one.
We're all tired, Rochelle. Come on.
You're
the
not that
most tired
special.
one. I'm kidding.
Wait, if I act like the eldest, I get to be the mostest.
Okay, wait.
No,
Act like the eldest. You are the eldest.
well, I'm not
mean,
actually. Evelyn's the eldest. I'm the second eldest. You're the youngest in this group.
Yes, she's the firstborn, though,
But she acts like the eldest.
and all that implies.
I act like the eldest, yes. At any rate, yeah, so we're back to the topic of facing reality and trauma recovery. So we decided to talk about your CPTSD is mostly subconscious. I don't know if that's a shocker to people, but it feels like it is because I hear a lot of people say, well, that's in the past. Or I'm fine. My past doesn't affect me. And then they're, addicted or doing aberrant things.
Yeah. And there's a huge disconnect.
I don't really focus on the past and they're still doing really maladaptive things. Not realizing that most of what's going on is in the subconscious and it's coming out into their lives in ways they don't really, I guess maybe it's normal. Whatever they're doing is normal for them, but a lot of what is going on in the subconscious part of the brain.
Yeah, and people start thinking that's just who they are.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am.
Yeah. Or even, when something happens, they feel a certain way or, act a certain way or are struggling. Oh, that was just a one-off, or they don't see the connection.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm certainly guilty of that, seeing things as a one-off for many, many years and not seeing them as patterns of behavior, consistent patterns of behavior, and a new understanding of this is just how it is.
Right.
Things are going to happen. You have to be almost, I wouldn't say constantly, but pretty consistently vigilant about, especially when you're new at it, at trauma recovery and really trying to be authentic. You really have to be vigilant about your behavior. I find myself drifting pretty easily into old behaviors. I think it was one night we were doing my brother-in-law's birthday and on Friday, and I had been giving into the thoughts. I hadn't actively isolated except for on my phone, but I had been in my room a lot, and then I just found myself gravitating towards isolation again. I wasn't even sure. I'm still not sure what's going on at the surface, why I'm feeling these super heavy feelings. And I isolated, which it wasn't a long period of time, but it was like the mentality and the thought behind it and the ease with which I just slid back into that. And then Stephanie texted me and asked me where I was, and it kind of snapped me out of it. And I realized, boy, it's really easy just to slide right back into that and not even give it a thought because I did it for so long. And it's almost complete. I would say it's conscious and subconscious at the same time because you don't realize how powerful it is to slip into that behavior again since it was such a part of you for so long. That's the way I thought about it. And what I realize is I'm in a place right now where I'm trying to accept the reality that this is what trauma recovery is like. Just in general. Like it's going to be tough most of the time because if you're in the maladaptive behaviors, it's comforting in some weird way, even if it's causing problems. When you're out there and you're vulnerable and you feel all the feelings, it's tough day to day. It's better, I think, but it's definitely tougher because living in reality is hard as opposed to living in whatever mystical fantasy land you put in the front of your mind for so long. Like people saying, oh, my past doesn't affect me or I can't help it or whatever their reasoning is. It's just understanding that is hard to accept.
Yeah.
That this is just how it is and this is how it's going to be. Sounds kind of doom and gloomish, but it's not. It's actually better to be in reality, I think.
Well, if you guys are okay with me sort of going on for a few minutes, I kind of like being the one with the psychology degree, to sort of explain my perspective on what conscious, subconscious, or unconscious, or whatever we're talking about, to try to get people up to speed. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably should not first.
Well, Rochelle, you sort of oiled
Jumped in.
oiled the whetstone, I guess you could say, or
Okay.
primed the pump.
Okay.
Whatever,
that.
whatever euphemism
analogy
works.
works.
Analogy, yes, that's it.
Yeah. So, okay. First of all, I want to rant just for a second about this dumb idea that we only use 10% of our brains.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You use all of your brain all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that a lot of it is unconscious or subconscious,
Mm-hmm.
because your body, your brain, processes information, it modulates your body, it does all sorts of things you don't need to really be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine being aware of, I don't know, constant noise, for example? Like, you hear stuff all the time, but your body filters out, or your mind filters out the majority of it, because if you were constantly aware of all that noise, it would kind of make you feel crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing, heart rates, heartbeats, blinking, it's all automatic, right? You don't really think about it. Your body heals on its own. Like, you have pain because you feel it, but you're not aware if your body is sending out all the leukocytes and lymphocytes and T cells and B cells to manage, it just happens automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's all the electrochemical processes going on. Your brain's constantly firing, but there is a portion of your brain that we have conscious thought. That is maybe the 10% people say you're using your brain, but the majority of what our brains are doing, is receiving information through your senses. Like, I don't think people realize that the eyes themselves are just receptacles. You don't actually see with your eyes, you see with your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Because the information gets through your eyes into your brain. Your brain goes, oh, that's a horse. Or, oh, the sky is blue, right? Or the sound gets in your ears, and your brain takes that information and says, oh, that's music, right? And it's automatic. Like, we kind of almost instinctively know what we're looking at or what we're hearing based on learning. So in our brains, there are systems, the autonomic nerve system is one of them, that are set up to attend to danger. And those systems, sense through your, ears, eyes, nose, skin, whatever, something's wrong. And then it sends out chemical messengers to the rest of your body, and then your heart rate goes up, and you might start sweating, and your stomach hurts. And there's reasons why all this is happening. Like, if you're ready to fly, run away from danger, your body is setting it into an optimal state to put as much energy into running away as fast as you can. That's why you get adrenaline surges when you're suddenly frightened. It's your automatic alarm system making you want to run away or fight or some other thing. So that's all subconscious. So when you've been subjected to ongoing trauma over a long period of time, your alarm system is constantly or frequently going off, and it sort of builds this habit of being on constant alert and then sending out signals on a frequent basis. But we're not necessarily aware of that, especially if we don't know that we have trauma in our past or whatever. And you've always felt adrenaline surges, but you didn't understand that that's actually an alert, right? And you've always gotten stomach aches when you get upset. You didn't realize that was part of the adrenaline and the what's the other one?
Cortisol?
Cortisol. Yeah. Cortisol, adrenaline, other things are running through your system to help you escape danger. So when you have that going on in your childhood and your brain sets up this network to handle danger, but they're kind of, it's not like there's a sudden giant bear in front of you that frightens you and makes you suddenly have an adrenaline surge and you run away. It's more like smaller, more incremental threats. And over the course of a long period of time, you learn how to adapt to your environment and you come up with these strategies for dealing. This is all unconscious. We're not thinking about it because we're children. And this is, we're just sort of reasoning out in our subconscious what will keep us safe. And that becomes a habit and develops a network and a system to deal with threats. And then it just keeps going. And straight on into adulthood. And then as an adult, you're doing these things that kept you safe or you thought might keep you safe as a kid, but they end up being detrimental to your life as an adult. But unless you start developing awareness of these subconscious systems, you don't understand that, why you're drinking so much or why you're taking drugs or smoking weed or spending all your time on your phone or sabotaging relationships or any number of things you might be doing that are actually harmful because this is what you've always done to manage stress. And you're constantly stressed out, but you don't realize you're stressed out because this is what's normal for you. Right? So that's my kind of lengthy explanation of what exactly it is we're talking about. And I think we were saying in the beginning, people don't understand that when you're trying to recover, you're mostly dealing with your subconscious.
Yeah.
When I had first heard that concept, I actually found it really validating because it's pretty upsetting to know, like, something just doesn't feel right. I know there's something wrong, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why I feel this way. I just all of a sudden feel, let's say I would smell something and all of a sudden I'd have this memory, or maybe not even a specific memory, but more just like, I just suddenly feel afraid. Why do I feel afraid? I don't understand. And being raised in a family that mostly was like, well, that happened, it's fine. And then into a marriage where I had ongoing mental health problems that were treated as one-offs. I treated them as one-offs too. And that's in the past. But I couldn't leave it there. But I also wasn't consciously thinking about it because mentally, in that 10% perhaps, I had gone, all right, well, it's in the past, so I don't have to think about it. I'd made the decision. It happened. It happened. I'm here now. I'm not there anymore, so I can just get on with my life. And I think one of the most validating things I'd ever heard that helped was, first of all, was my past is with me. I can't just, and it's like, oh, that's helpful because I can't, the more I tried to go with my training of squashing it down, the more it kept popping up. And then the idea that it's subconscious, that's why, unlike, like regular PTSD, where this one or maybe a short series of events happened, and I could maybe, I have a flashback. Well, yes. And I know why I feel that way. But this, it would always feel so random, like a random pain or random fear, or just this random thought that was unconnected. And that would just confuse me before. Like, I'm just trying to get on with my day. What the heck,
Yeah.
So
yeah. I am acutely aware of my subconscious these days. Like the constant barrage of anxious thoughts that come up and feelings, but I mean, I've been practicing this a long time, so I think it just opened up Pandora's box at some point, and now it's just all there all the time.
Yeah.
But for a long time, it was mostly subconscious. I didn't really know what was going on. As a matter of fact, my initial experience with trauma recovery was having flashbacks at age 19, and they would just arise out of a circumstance. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew something was wrong. It took a long time to figure out what was actually happening. And then at one point it feels like I just sort of became connected to my subconscious in a way that almost is a little much at times. But there's still plenty going on down under the water. Rochelle was relating to an iceberg earlier when we were talking about, she's like, what are we doing? I'm like, that's what I remember. And she's like, oh, I was thinking about icebergs and how you only see the tip of the iceberg and everything else is underwater. It's sort of like that. You know, the majority of what's going on is these automatic systems. There was I think I shared with you guys a Instagram video. It was a skeletal system with a nervous system. And it was talking about how and we're talking specifically about complex PTSD, not PTSD exactly. And how complex PTSD is like neurodivergence, but it's like acquired neurodivergence. And I thought that was interesting because a lot of neurodivergent stuff is subconscious, but a good bit of it is also in the conscious. I think I can't prove this, and people might get mad at me if they hear me say this, and whatever. I have an autistic child, so I'm just going by what I see. It's kind of like he can't turn off his subconscious on certain things, like sounds and feels. He can't turn it off. He's a lot more aware of things that I'm not aware of. I am aware of smells that other people aren't aware of. Like I smell things before other people do, or they never do. It's a weird feeling because I feel like I'm tapped into something subconscious, some part of my brain. I don't know. Whether or not CPTSD is neurodivergence or not, it kind of makes sense if it is. But it doesn't matter. What matters is it's there. The brain, if you brain mapped somebody with CPTSD, I've watched videos about this and read stuff about it. If you brain mapped somebody with that, with like a functional MRI, for example, the connections are wonky. They're very different than a quote normal brain.
Why do I find that comforting?
I don't know, Evelyn. Why do you find it comforting?
I mean, I knew it was wonky, but to actually have evidence, because you wonder, why can't I be like everyone else, you know? Of course, who knows how everyone else really is.
Right.
But after a while, you just kind of know, like, okay, there's something going on in here that's not the norm.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually having like evidence now, I was talking to my mom about this last night, how, we didn't used to be able to see all this. And just like people are saying, you'll use 10% of your brain or whatever. What was the evidence one way or the other, really? But now you can actually see. We were talking about like when you would be, say, talking to somebody or they were experiencing something, you'd see different things light up, different parts of the brain, and where you can see, okay, I knew something was going on in there, and we finally got to the point where we can see it. And I think that's part of bringing it out of, we were talking about, the subconscious under the surface. Let's pull more of this up and look at it, and knowing, okay, it's not just, I'm sorry, it's going to sound a little weird, but it's not just in my head that I think, what's wrong with me, and it's not just, I think something's off, but there really is something off in there.
Do you
different?
Do you remember in the 80s people saying, "Oh, I think I have a complex"?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I remember
That
that.
was such a thing. Yes.
Yeah. I think I definitely have a complex.
Several. I have several complexes.
Several.
uh,
Got a whole
I was
list.
I was thinking about, and this is something I realized a long time ago, the effect of trauma and abuse on a child is foundational. And so it makes sense that when a child's brain, this is really hard to talk about, so bear with me if I start crying. I know that won't be shocking though.
It's okay, Rochelle. We love you. You can cry if you want to.
If a
You can leave
child's
your
brain is formed, a developing brain in a child is formed around trauma, it becomes part of them. And to think about that, because I was my first memories of abuse are very, very young. I was probably 2.5, 3 years old. And it wasn't directed at me at that point, but our parents were very violent with each other. And to think about the helplessness and the innocence of a child, and their body and their brain is developing, and then they're subjected to this violence and this abuse that doesn't make any sense to them, and their brain is receiving this receiving these things, and it goes on for years, and they can't stop it. They can't control it. There's nothing they can do. And it's happening to them at some point, possibly. And you can't get rid of what's foundational. It's just part of you. You can heal it, but you can't get rid of it per se. Like complex PTSD doesn't go away. Like regular PTSD from an event, or even if you have like a severe mental illness or something like that and you're dealing with it, it can eventually be healed and you can kind of move on. You may have to like monitor and manage. But it feels
I don't know. Some people say some like online therapists, psychologists, whatever, say you can heal your CPTSD. I think my experience with that idea is that there has been some healing, but there's so much going on that there's a lot to get over. It doesn't mean that it can't ever be healed, but I think it's so complex and so complicated that it may never fully heal. I may never fully get there.
Right. That's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
But I'm mostly functional these days, so
Okay.
it kind of doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that was kind of the point I was coming to.
Fully get healed or not.
Yeah. I think the idea of progress is what helps me, or even on the days when I'm really struggling, just to take it moment by moment and get through as best I can. But the idea that there is some glistening, shining, if I can just get to that point, I'm going to be healed. I mean, we've talked about this before. Yeah, God could step in and,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not generally how it works. I mean, it's more of a process. We grow in the process, where we wouldn't have that kind of growth if it was just taken away.
Yeah, it's kind of like replanting something. It's like you have to simplify, you have this bad soil and you change it and you make it better and you can grow healthy things, but underneath it might still not be great, but still healing is still working. That's how I think about it. Like, it gives me hope to think about, I was created I was formed in this sort of bad situation, but it can still be fixed. It can still be healed. That was what I was trying to get to. But it's very foundational. It's underneath of everything else.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, I don't know, like bamboo, for example, is under the ground as a network of connected stalks, because bamboo isn't a tree.
Right.
It's, I think, more like a grass.
Yeah.
So underneath the ground, there's this root system, and the stalks shoot up as they grow outward, which is why you have to plant bamboo a certain way, or also just take over an area. But the analogy here is that everything's connected. The reason why it's complex, and I was reading an article about the difference between complex and complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Because complicated, you can take the components of a system apart and fix the parts, put it back together, and it'll work. Complex, everything's intertwined and interconnected, so it's much harder to find a component that you can fix. Because if you fix that one, it affects a different part.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like there's a lot going on in my brain on a regular basis in terms of how I'm defining input from what's going on around me, interactions with other people, etc.
Right.
And the response is complex and it's both. It's complex and it's complicated because there's multiple shoots coming from a single root system that's all connected. There's actually no central theme per se. There's no one memory. There's multiple memories of different things that happened over time. It's all connected together, and it created this, oh my gosh, oh, excuse me, it created this complicated and complex system of response.
Right.
That even if I follow one of those shoots back to its roots and find what started it, it's still intertwined with other things. It's still intertwined with other memories. So when you say it's foundational, Rochelle, I feel like what you're saying is that your normal development was diverted and created this complex system to deal with threats.
Yeah.
That have become so much a part of you, so deeply embedded in you, that it's difficult to find the root of that specific problem and come about change and figure out how to calm down or bring truth or light or whatever to that area. It's not impossible, it's just difficult to do, but it's worth doing.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree. And you explained exactly what I was trying to get to much better than I could. When I think back when I was 46 and I had congestive heart failure and didn't realize it was based in having almost constant panic attacks. That's one example of what we're talking about. So not aware, feeling like it was normal to feel constantly panicked. It's so bizarre that on the other side of that now, it's like, that was insane to me that I thought it was normal to feel that way. To be constantly anxious, constantly having, well, I am anxious the majority of the time, but that's a different, I'm aware of that. I wasn't aware of these constant panic attacks, that they were serious enough to cause that problem, or that even was having them, because I'd felt that way for so long, which is so bizarre.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm done.
I was just thinking though, if that's all you know, then how would it be insane to think that's normal? You know what I mean? Like it makes perfect sense to me.
So weird sort of
like,
circle
but
to get yourself into.
But I remember, like my first memory was connected with fear. And I've even had like flashbacks of earlier memories. Like I would always say, well, my first memory was when I was about 3. But then I could remember earlier things, and it was always fear-based. And so feeling calm and peaceful always felt strange to me. Like, why do I feel calm? Like that doesn't feel normal. I need to, I had to always go back to feeling afraid so it was familiar.
Right.
And, I think as we're trying to get some sort of a hold on it, like how does it manifest itself in me? I was looking into different ways that, how we talk about fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses. And like I was watching some Tim Fletcher videos about like identifying what your primary ones were. And I could always remember anytime things would get hard, I would find a way to get out of there. I'd run away. In fact, I'm not very athletic in general, at least I wasn't as a kid. but man, could I run. And I was always either literally running or I would find a way to leave in my mind. Like I would go off into a little fantasy land or something. So I think, as we're trying to, suss it out, seeing, okay, how does it express itself in me? So when I feel this urge to get away from something, that perks up my attention, like, okay, pay attention. Why do I want to leave? Why do I feel panicked? And I might not know the answer, but maybe in that moment I could just tell myself, it's okay. There's nothing to fear right now, because like almost never is there an actual, thing that's terrible that's actually going on.
Right.
It's more something someone said or something that's happening where I can go, okay, you're safe. It's okay. And usually I can at least calm down a bit, but at least knowing, okay, I have a tendency for flight and then could be aware of it.
So I'm thinking, I'm listening to you talk, Evelyn. I'm thinking back up to a moment early in our friendship when you were having a meltdown or a panic attack. You called me. I don't remember how we ended up talking, but it feels like you called me because you were trying to do something related to a very traumatic thing. And you were unable, you were like laying on the floor crying and unable to get off the floor to take care of it. And I'm like, I said to you, why are you panicking about this task? And then you started to explain it, right? And I think when we have stuff like this going on, it takes somebody outside of us to point out there's something not right about that.
Yeah.
And then that should make you go, yeah, you're right. Why is it like that? And I think that's where therapy comes in handy, because your therapy basically is managing your subconscious.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, obviously there's conscious thought and things you're talking about, but there are things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Or not doing, as the case may be. But the therapist is there, the psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, is there to sort of point out things that you're not aware of.
Yes.
And to help you to see it so that you can be aware of it yourself. And then they might give you some kind of thing you can do if that comes up again, because it inevitably will.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I was saying about how, I learned how to suss out that I tend to have flight, but really, initially, I would just get, pulled this way and that way. And like when I called you, I didn't have a way to connect it all yet. But you're absolutely right. I mean, having someone else that can help contextualize it, or I love that my therapist will often ask me these little probing questions. Why do you think that happened? Or do you have any idea why, what led to that? And a lot of times, to be honest, I don't really know. Like, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. And then she'll probe a little more, and I'm so thankful for that help, because otherwise I get in my head and, or just, end up having these meltdowns and try to self-soothe in some way. And, we talked about maladaptive behaviors, but someone who is listening, someone who can ask the right questions, it can really, you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel like somebody cares and can help.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, but just pointing out things like, there's been times where you were acting kind of weird in a circumstance, and I'm watching this go on, and I'm like, Evelyn, what's going on? You're acting kind of weird. And you'll be like, oh, I am? And then we talk about it and kind of come to a conclusion about what it was about. And, and then it's up to you to, pay attention to any future manifestations of the same thing. And I think that's really how healing goes. Like if we're talking about things in terms of bamboo, we're sort of paying attention to sort of the top of the branches, like the top part of the plant.
Yeah, the leaves.
Right? The leaves are blowing around and they're doing things, and we're like, why is that happening? And then we follow it down and we go to therapy, and they're like, well, tell me about this plant, and you're like, well, it's this and it's that, and this happens, it happens, when this goes on, and then you're like, oh, and then you're down at the bottom, and then you're like, oh, what's that rotten thing?
Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, how do I change that?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
How long has that been there?
Yeah, because you're up in the leaves trying to treat the symptoms, and you're not looking at what's underneath.
Right.
I think that's kind of what we're talking about.
A lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of times the problem is in the roots.
Yeah.
Not in the top part. The top part is a symptom, but the roots are the problem. Like, what's going on there? And I have like a specific thing I'm focusing on right now, which is this idea that I'm evil. And I get really,
you're not. You're really not. But you're dealing with something. Yeah.
Well, I know, but the thoughts occur to me like I'm actually evil. If I do something that I think might upset somebody, it might have upset somebody. I automatically go to, oh, I'm evil. I did something wrong. I should feel ashamed of myself. And that popped up several times this year, and I brought it up to my therapist. I'm like, I don't even know where the thought that centrally, it seems like the main message is I'm not good enough. That's common.
Yeah.
Right? We've talked about this recently.
Yeah.
But the specific shoot from that central thing, I'm evil, I have no idea where that comes from. It could be something somebody said to me. It could be something I developed based on a series of things that went on for a period of time that I somehow ascribed evil to me based on my childish knowledge about whatever evil is at the time that I thought this up. I believe God wants me to work on this specific stalk. It's not going to solve all of my trauma issues for sure if I manage to deal with this specific one, but it will eliminate a lot of like certain kinds of panic, certain kinds of anxiety.
Yeah.
So I've been examining this stalk. I've been like looking at the leaves and and I'm trying to find the root. A lot of times epiphanies will happen. It could be a memory. I don't have a specific memory of developing this thought. I don't have a specific event to tie it to.
Right.
It could be there, may not be there, maybe just something that developed out of. I don't know. Could be anything, really. I mean, at this point, it could be anything.
True.
So I'm like trying to trace it back right now, and I'm working on. So I'll bring it up in therapy, like, how many times in the last 2 weeks did this specific kind of thought occur to me? And what was it related to? Like, what circumstance? I'll just give you an example of what I mean. There was a major event here about a month ago that was really shocking. I'm not going to bring up what it was, but it happened. It shocked me, but I felt like I wanted to support the person that died. And I put his picture in my profile, and a friend or someone who used to be a friend a week or so later asked me who that was, and I told them, and as a result of me revealing who that was, they blocked me. And my immediate internal response is I must be evil. I upset this person. I must be evil. Like that automatically happened. I didn't sit there and form the conclusion that I was evil based on their reaction. It just automatically came as a result of their reaction to me.
Right.
Because I upset them. I must be evil. So I'm trying to work through that specific one to get at and to try to calm that down, because I've got plenty of other things that I get upset about, that I have anxious thoughts about.
Yeah.
And I don't like that specific line of thinking, like I'm evil. Like logically, I know I'm not.
Right.
Right.
None of the subconscious is about being logical.
That's
Right.
also so important to point out, because it doesn't really make sense if you're, the logical mind. Well, this, then this, then this. No, it's there. It's just there. There's no reasoning with it or making it go away. Exactly. It's more like, all right, like you said, let's find out if we can figure out, how did this begin? And I was thinking when you were talking about how many times I would hear an angry parent say, "You make me so mad." And now look, I could be a mouthy little kid, okay? I no angel here. But I started to moderate my own behavior based on, I need to make sure I don't get people mad at me,
Right.
Yeah.
because I'm somehow responsible. And of course, with the parent, I have to make sure I don't get my parent angry, and to take responsibility for that. Now, I may have made them feel angry by what I said, but they're absolutely responsible for what they do with that, you know? And it's only been in the last, oh gosh, couple of years that I've really thought about that. Like my idea of trying to keep the peace, trying to be good so I don't get people mad. The idea that I'm not responsible for anybody else's reactions or behaviors. I need to make sure I'm doing the right thing. It is incredibly freeing, but if you don't realize that that's what's going on, I'm not saying that that's what's going on with you, Steph. I do know that that's been something I've had to deal with, but understanding, oh, I can see, at least there, I can see part of the root. And what can what is the actual truth here? But it can be so hard, though, because there isn't one particular thing. I was thinking that's the thing about something being so complex. It could build up little things for years that create this narrative, that create these things we tell ourselves that we say are true. I'm bad. I make people mad. I'm a burden. These conclusions that we come to, that it wasn't just one thing. It was that time that mom got mad at me, that time that the teacher got mad at me, that time when this person got as exasperated, or, that create these over time.
Yeah. I was telling my therapist today about how I annoy people with how many questions I ask. If I don't understand something, like he's like, why do you ask so many questions? I'm like, he thought it was an anxiety thing. I said, no, it's a comprehension thing. Like, people are talking to me and they might as well be speaking Greek. I don't know what they're saying. And if I really want to know, I got to ask questions because I don't have context, right?
Yeah.
But the narrative, the subconscious program that's happening, the brain's an amazing thing. I just have to say that. God designed it in an amazing way.
It really is.
The subconscious programming for safety is, don't ask questions, or people will be mad at you.
Yes. Oh, man.
So
totally relatable.
Questions are like doing this in my conscious mind, but my subconscious mind is saying, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. And I'm like, why not? Like my conscious mind is, but I want to know. And questions are bad. Questions are bad. Questions are bad. That's what my subconscious is doing. And it's to keep me safe from not upsetting people, because upsetting people led to abuse.
Yeah, but the problem is if you don't ask the questions, then you won't really understand what they were trying to tell you, and then they get upset with you because you didn't get it, or like I think
Yeah.
about what happens at work because I have ADHD, and sometimes I'll get so like, okay, this is this is something that sometimes happens. I'll get distracted. My supervisor's talking it to me, and I'll notice how this unique way that she does her eyeliner, and I'll realize I just missed what she said, you know. And I mean that's my own fault, but things like that would happen when I was a kid. And then I would ask questions, and it was because I wasn't paying attention. So then I get in trouble for not paying attention. And then, so this anxiety starts to build up. Somebody starts to talk, and I'll think, I got to make sure I get this. I got to make sure I understand, because if I don't get it, I'm gonna, I'm gonna get in trouble for not getting it. And then, and there's this whole anxiety thing that builds up that prevents me anyway, from getting it in the first place. I mean, I have some comprehension problems to begin with, and then the anxiety comes in. What if I don't get it? Then I'll have to ask questions, but I'm not supposed to ask questions. And then this whole thing goes on, and it's, being silent and just trying to go quietly figure it out may have worked when you're a kid, but I don't know. I've tried to do that as an adult, and
Yeah. I think what we're talking about is the complex systems that we created. Rochelle talked about it being foundational, like complex, complicated systems of managing stress, managing threat to our well-being. And it's all under our conscious thought. It's all in the subconscious. It's setting off alerts. It's like signals telling you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And you may not know why. But we were thinking, like, dissociation is this sort of altered state of consciousness. It's almost like being in a trance, but we enter it so easily we don't even realize we're in it.
yeah.
But I was thinking about how subconsciously my desire to feel better often comes in the form of, binging. So I find myself sitting there with a bag of chips, and I've just unconsciously eaten a bunch of chips that I shouldn't have eaten. And I'm like, suddenly, like, I wake up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. I'm making the choice to do it. It's funny. I've been watching a show called The Mentalist. You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I haven't really seen it though.
Well, the main character is a consultant for some investigative thing in California. Kind of like Psych, but not funny. Anyway, he used to pretend to be a psychic, but he also knows how to hypnotize people, and he's getting in trouble with his team a lot because he isn't supposed to hypnotize anybody because it makes so they can't prosecute or something like that.
Yeah.
This one specific episode, it was about a group of people who know how to hypnotize people. And this one woman was hypnotizing a bunch of people to do her bidding, basically. And the hypnotized people didn't realize they were hypnotized and kept saying, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. But then they would do her bidding when she touched them or a certain way or said a certain thing. And then the mentalist guy, like, figured out how to wake them up because he didn't know what would trigger them becoming conscious and aware again. So that's what it feels like that kind of a thing. Like, I don't quite remember how I ended up here with this bag of chips.
Yeah.
Something triggered, subconscious thing got triggered. Alarm bells are going off. I feel stressed. I need comfort. What's the nearest thing I can get a hold of?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not always aware, because that part of my recovery from that is becoming aware of when that's happening and before it becomes too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something, Rochelle?
Yeah, I was just thinking about Tim Fletcher and how he talks about reparenting yourself. I'm sure he's not the only one that does. But he's the only one I've heard it from. And I was thinking about today, I really wanted a donut. I don't even like donuts that much. But I really, really wanted a donut for some reason at some point in the morning. It wasn't a day any different from any other day. I am extra tired because I worked all weekend and I had to be back in at 6 in the morning, blah, blah, blah. And I just really wanted a donut. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, why do I want this donut so badly? And I realized it's just that compulsion. Even though I've gained some control over it, it's still that compulsion of, I just want it. But it is almost like a subconscious thought that you have to like make yourself aware of. And I do that with panic attacks, and I was having the same sort of panicky feeling of I'm going to get in trouble that I have frequently for no reason. Nothing's going to happen to me. That's what caused me. That's why I want to isolate, because it's uncomfortable and it's constant. It seemed to go away for a while, and it came back, and I'm like, oh, here we are again. And but I realized that that's something I have to be aware of, and I'm not necessarily trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to tell myself, you're not in trouble. Nobody's mad at you. You haven't done anything wrong. Any number of things I have to say to myself.
You're an adult, Rochelle. Nobody's going to put you over the knee and spank you.
Or put you in the corner or send you to your room. Although sending me to my room would not be good and would also be fun at the same time.
You're fired. That means you can go home.
Kidding.
Go home and go to bed.
It's like, yes.
But anyways, so that's feeling of like, I don't know why this is happening, and trying to retrain your brain to not give in to that urge to just run away or whatever, like eat the donut or eat the chips or whatever it is really uncomfortable. And it really, really is like, it was for a good hour and a half. It was all consuming for me.
No,
like my brain would not let it go.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm the only person this happens to. I'm stressed. So a memory of something that I like will flash into my head. I'll literally see it. Like, I'll see the thing. So let's say a donut. And then a memory will come back, but this time it's a smell.
Mm-hmm.
Or a taste.
Mm-hmm.
Or a specific feeling you get when I eat a donut. Or is that like, I think you could consider those body memories, but it is definitely like coming from my subconscious. It's like like when you're hungry and you start seeing visions of hot dogs or whatever it is you want to eat.
I would never see a vision of hot dog, but okay.
Whatever. The dancing hot dogs in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like when you're hungry.
Totally.
And the thought of a certain kind, like you have cravings for food, the thought of that food will occur to you.
Oh, yeah.
The banana, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Yeah. And your brain is trying to tell you, eat a banana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which could mean you need some potassium, but still.
Right. Well, that's one of those automatic subconscious things. Like, your body knows what it needs, and it directs you to go get that thing that it needs when it's healthy, right? So if you need potassium, like Evelyn's saying, your body will probably direct you to go eat a banana.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
My body directs me to go eat donuts when I'm stressed, because that's my automatic response to stress, or whatever it is I'm thinking about. It could be anything. And so that aspect of the subconscious is like, one of the more difficult ones to deal with, because you have to become. So I think what we're sort of gathering together is this idea that there's systems in place that formed and foundation. I'm going to use Rochelle's word, formed foundationally, that were developed as a response to threat and stress as a child.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid pain and suffering, abuse, whatever. So we're developing ways of being in the world so that it doesn't upset people. And those things cement themselves in our brain. We carry it into adulthood. Now we're doing all these things maladaptively. And in order to change it, we have to become aware it's even happening because it's mostly subconscious.
Yeah.
And as we go to therapy, as we talk to people, as we work on it, we become more and more aware of the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And we start finding where this came from and perhaps even be able to change it and put a stop to that specific, pattern or whatever.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of will to continuously work on these kinds of things. But it's worth doing because you get more and more freedom as you go along, and more capable, more capacity to deal with stress. And so it's really worth doing because you can have joy.
Yes.
You can have peace to a degree. I mean, it's not
Right.
I'm never going to be 100% at peace, but I have a measure of peace.
Yes.
That's how I personally like to put it. I have a measure of peace.
Right. And isn't it good that after you've been doing this for a while, I was thinking about that woman who was lying on the floor, literally lying on the floor, calling you, compared to where I am now.
Almost 10 years later.
Yeah. Where that just completely wrecked me. Took a long time to recover. And seeing progress. I mean, I find myself so much in the moment, or maybe not, maybe not really reflecting, but to take a moment and go, I was once over there. I may not be where I want to be, but I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. And to actually see the progress.
Yeah. So, Evelyn specifically, I'm thinking back to that we were just barely friends at the point that you called me. Or it just happened to be, I don't know how it happened. You called me or we happened to be talking.
Yeah.
You're crying. You're lying on the floor, completely panicked and stressed out about this thing you had to do. And it was a simple task. It wasn't that hard, like in real life.
Yeah, the task itself. Yeah.
It was not that difficult to do, but you were having this meltdown about it. And recently, so I felt like I had to talk you through it and like coach you out of that panic attack. And then you were able to do the task, right? And I don't know how long that took. It might have been half an hour or something. But recently you had to do something that was sort of similar and maybe a little more complicated.
Yeah, definitely more complicated.
That, was affecting your ability to go to Japan. And you did have some feelings and some panic and a lot of things that came up, but you with encouragement, I don't feel like I spent as much time encouraging you through this one as I did the other one. But there was some encouragement and there was some guidance from me and other people. But you managed to do this thing that you needed to do to go to Japan, right? And get through it. And it took some bravery and it took some, will power to push yourself forward and to keep moving through. And now we're going to Japan.
Yes.
So I would say, you moved out of this weird subconscious place that you were in about doing this one simple task into something much more difficult to manage, but being able to do it mostly on your own. That is definite growth. I think you can feel good about that.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's so encouraging. And to have people who will point that out, I'm so grateful for, friends like these two, but and a darn good therapist who
I
can
gotta go this over here. You guys are over there.
I'm in the middle of
yeah, but you're in the middle of mine too.
Which makes me feel like, I've got my two besties right next to me, especially my twin. But anyway, that it's so helpful to remember that we don't have to just do this on our own. Therapists, supportive friends, and we're and one moment at a time too.
Yeah.
I know I've said this before, but man, I'm so grateful for you guys. Like, I know for a fact I would not be able to do any of this without you. There's no way. I would still be stuck wherever I was before. Like, it's been an extremely slow growth for me, but without your support and pushing me and helping me, I would never have made any progress or very little. And I don't even want to think about where I might be without it. I mean, I believe in God, obviously. I'm a Christian, but it doesn't mean I would be. He puts you in my life. I mean, Stephanie's my sister. She's been there since I was alive. I was first born. And then you came in the picture 10 years ago.
Pictorial proof.
Yes. And you came into my life in 2016, I guess, just after my separation. Yeah. God knew, like he knew Stephanie had to be the one to forge the path as the eldest. And I followed her and have been trying to follow her for years with a lot of frustration and things like that. Isn't this kind of part not mine so much? But yeah, I finally got to a point where I understand how valuable to have friends and family who are there to help you, like you guys are. It's just it's priceless, really. What are you laughing at?
We're feeling like we've come full circle.
I go into trauma recovery. You go into trauma recovery.
Guess who?
It's 20 years later, though. I'm just really starting out.
And I can also attest. I can also attest who encouraged me to go into recovery.
We're both copying you, Steph. Sorry.
Firstborn is leading the way. Now, she will tell us sometimes we're doing it wrong, but we're following her.
It's the ultimate copying, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're laughing or crying at first. What's happening over there?
You said you got into recovery, and then I got into recovery, and there we were.
I just loved how we came full circle, guys. Well done. And here it is, what, an hour and 10 minutes. So we're getting ready to wrap up anyway.
I sort of feel when it's starting to wrap up now.
Oh God. Oh God.
It was trying to be serious and emotional. It turned into a silly moment, a funny moment.
I'm sorry.
That's just what we do. That's how we do.
Yep. It's what we do.
I'm feeling that door jam on the back of my head, Rochelle.
Door jam?
That's a whole other story that we don't have time for right now.
Wow. Okay. I said I was sorry, when I was 13.
Every time I laugh really hard, it gets crampy right back there. It's so funny.
Boy, we'll have to tell that story maybe next time.
A different time.
Different time.
I've had 3 head injuries. Rochelle was one of them.
I should say she caused one of them.
No.
Her head injury.
She caused one of them.
I'm an editor.
It was an entire misunderstanding.
Yes, it was.
Anyway, yeah, I've had 3 diagnosed concussions. Anyway,
my goodness.
Yeah, so I think that summed it up pretty well. So we're talking about facing reality. CPTSD is mostly subconscious, which means that it's a process of becoming aware of your subconscious thoughts and feelings and reactions to your environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes therapy mainly to find some healing. Healing can happen. It's just not gonna. There's just no magic cure. Wait, didn't we do an episode on that?
We did.
I think we did.
Oh,
go ahead and look in the archives, guys. You'll find it.
Look at us. Anyway, yeah. So we'll be back. Not next week, not the following week, but 3 weeks from today.
Today. So that would be.
Oh wait.
Wait a minute.
Not next week, not the following week. So we'll be back in a month. It'll be a
Yeah,
month
probably not
because
till the 3rd of November.
I'm not gonna record the day after I get back from Japan.
Can't
Yeah.
say I
So
blame you
it'll
for
be the
that.
week after that, and then we'll post the week after that. So it'll be in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that we've taken breaks before. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Not that very many people care. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're talking about important stuff that has to do with trauma recovery from our perspective as the people in recovery. We're not
Mhm.
therapists. We're not talking about therapy things related to it. We're not describing things from therapy or therapeutic or clinical perspective. We're just talking about things from a person in recovery's perspective. But we think what we're saying could be helpful to people out there who want to know what it's like to live with this kind of disability, who want to make a difference in their own lives. So if you're listening to this, and you get something out of it, or you think of somebody who could be helped by what we're saying, please send it to them, share it. Time to do the dance. Subscribe, like, comment,
comment,
do all the buttons,
hit all the buttons, do all the
buttons,
do all the
smash
things.
the buttons.
Yeah,
things.
do that for us. It would help us to grow. We really do want to get out there, get our name out there, and
We do. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
Tell your teachers. Tell your bosses. Tell your next door neighbor's dog. Your cat.
Maybe not.
Tell your parent. Tell your mom.
I don't think they'd listen.
Tell your mom. Your mom.
Your mom. When you have Gen Z kids.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho.
Yeah, well, Steven tells jokes and I'll be like, your mom. But I'm the mom.
Yeah, Ronnie will say, my son will go, your mom, you're mom. You're my mom. Like, okay.
Whatever.
Anywho.
Whatever. All right. Well, I'm Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
And I'm Rochelle Knapp.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks so much for joining us as we discussed such an important topic. We hope you got some food for thought and encouragement to keep going and keep growing. See you later, Bear Club.